Hey everyone! I wanted to take a little bit of time in this video to explain how attendance works in this course. If this is your first online course at ATA, you will definitely want to watch this video. But even if you have taken an online class at ATA, you might want to keep watching as well, just to be sure you understand exactly how attendance works for this class. You're going to see a written explanation of attendance underneath this video, and at the very bottom of the page you'll see a chart, and that chart lists each week of the quarter and the specific dates that each week begins, the specific date that your attendance needs to be triggered for that week, and the specific date that that week ends. So you can always come back to that written information at any point during the quarter if you have questions about attendance or the dates of specific weeks and when things need to be submitted. But please continue watching this video, because there'll be some information that I give you that I think will be beneficial whether you have taken an online course already or not. Right? And it's not very long. Right? But before I get started, I want to clarify that this course is a true online course. Now, what I mean by that is this. You might currently have classes or had classes in the past that were conducted online via Zoom or virtual classroom, but under normal circumstances, those classes would have met on campus on a specific day of the week for a specific amount of time. But due to COVID, many of those on-campus classes were switched to online courses, and you met via Zoom. And your attendance was tracked, the instructor took attendance during the Zoom meeting. This class is not like that. This class is always an online class. We do not have a set day or time to meet. So you have the whole week to work on the lessons and homework whenever you see fit. This means there are no Zoom meetings or virtual classrooms where I will be taking attendance. So for a true online course, attendance is tracked a little differently. So if we don't have a regularly scheduled day and time to meet, how does your attendance get tracked for true online classes? Well, there's two elements to that answer, the how and the when. All right, so first, how does your attendance get tracked? Your attendance gets triggered by submitting a graded item. So looking at things in our course on Brightspace does not count. Going through a PowerPoint, going back and looking at things in this Getting Started section, going to previous weeks and reviewing those PowerPoints or watching those videos, none of that counts for attendance. You have to submit a graded item. One way we try to help ensure that you do this is by using weekly attendance quizzes. Now, in order to even access the lessons and homework assignments each week, you must first submit the attendance quiz for that week. If you haven't already done so, if you went and looked at week 1 module, you clicked on week 1 module and you saw the outline over on the right hand side of the screen, and underneath week 1 module is week 1 attendance quiz, and nothing else. Nothing else will appear under week 1 module until you submit the week 1 attendance quiz. Once you do, you're going to see all the lessons and homework assignments show up in that module. Okay, so we do the attendance quiz to sort of inspire you to submit the quiz early in the week, so that not only will you get marked present for the week, but then you'll also be able to see the lessons and homework for that week. Alright, so the attendance quiz question, if some of you are wondering, like, oh my gosh, why do I have to take a quiz? Might freak you out a little bit, but just rest assured that the attendance quiz is one very simple question, and it does not get factored into your grade. However, it does count as a graded item, so once you take the quiz, you have officially triggered your attendance for that week, and you'll also be able to see all the lessons and homework assignments so that you can plan your week accordingly. The quiz question for weeks 1 and 2 is very simple. It's a very simple true or false question. Starting in week 3, the question will be a little different. It'll be a written response question, and it's going to ask you to state your current grade in the class and if you are missing any homework assignments. So now we're using the attendance quiz for a third purpose, which is to make sure that you are aware of your grade every week of the course, right? But it's still, it requires an extra step from you. You're going to have to go see what your grade is and if you're missing anything. But it's still a very simple quiz question, right? But once you do that, you have submitted that graded item. Second part was the when. When does your attendance get tracked? You need to trigger your attendance and submit that graded item by 11:55 p.m. on Thursday of each week. Instructors then enter attendance on Friday morning. So if you submitted the attendance quiz by Thursday night, you'll be marked present for the week. If you did not submit the attendance quiz or any other graded item by Thursday night, you'll be marked absent. And the reason I say some other graded item is once we get into the course, you might be turning work in late, and that might fall into the window of the next week. And if you've submitted an item from the previous week during the current week, that late item would trigger your attendance as well. But just to keep it straight and to make sure that we're all on the same page, you really want to think of that attendance quiz as your way of triggering your attendance each week. So as long as you do it by Thursday night, you're fine. So to summarize, for a true online course, you have to submit a graded item, most likely the attendance quiz, by 11:55 on Thursday of each week in order to be counted present for that particular week. Having said all that, if you're keeping up with the work for this class, if you're submitting everything or even just some things on the due date, you will most likely not have any issues triggering your attendance each week. Submitting assignments on time and submitting the weekly attendance quiz on time will pretty much ensure that you're getting marked present each week. There are times, though, when you might not be able to complete the work for this class on time. Life happens, and sometimes we have to submit things late. You still want to make sure you at least submit the attendance quiz on time, though, so that you won't be marked absent that week. So remember, your attendance is one thing. Your homework and your grade is something completely different. So even if you have to put the work on hold, at least submit the quiz, the attendance quiz, so that you can be marked present. You can submit the homework late if needed. If you find yourself in a situation where you're not even able to submit the attendance quiz for that week, and there's nothing else that has triggered your attendance, you will be marked absent, but you should still turn in the work late, okay? Just like if you missed a class on campus, you would still be responsible for getting the material you missed and turning in your missing work at some point. Same goes for online classes. So for example, if something happens and you're unable to do the work for week 3 on time, do your best to at least submit the week 3 attendance quiz by Thursday of that week so you can be marked present. And then you can go back and review the lessons and do the homework when you have time. If, though, you can't even do the attendance quiz by Thursday of week 3, you will be marked absent, but you still have to go back and go through the lessons for week 3 and submit the homework for week 3. They're two separate things. You want to try to be present each week, but sometimes life happens. You might end up getting marked absent one week. But don't let that affect your grade. Right? You still need to go back and do the work for that week so that your grade doesn't also suffer, right? Okay. Now I know this is a lot of information to take in, but you'll get the hang of it. The best advice I can give you is plan on taking the attendance quiz on Monday or Tuesday of each week. That way, you have ensured that you have triggered your attendance for that week. That's no longer an issue. But also, that means you will see what's in store for you that week. Now, you might not get to it until the weekend, right? But at least you know, okay, I've got this many PowerPoints to go through, I've got this many assignments, I can look and see what the assignments entail. Is it a shorter one? Is it a longer one? Um, and that way you can plan your week accordingly and also have triggered your attendance on time, right? Um, you'll also be getting reminders. Uh, you'll get a reminder from me early Thursday if you have not triggered your attendance yet for that week. You might also receive a reminder on Wednesday from either the registrar or Sandy Rice in the Learning Assistance Center. So you'll get reminders as the attendance deadline approaches each week. So hopefully between, having to take the attendance quiz in order to see each week's material, getting the reminders from us, trying to, the due dates for everything, hopefully it all, just comes together. And at the very least, you won't risk being absent any week. But I'm always here if you have any questions. Uh, you know, you'll get the hang of it after a while, but if there's ever anything you're concerned about or unsure of, please reach out. Otherwise, you are free to move on to the next item.